Hello, everybody. Well, it's been a big saga with the whole Patreon situation. A lot of people have been following this problem since Patreon banned Sargon of Akkad. There's been a lot of waves. Sam Harris deleted his Patreon. Sam Harris, Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin. I've also seen quite a bit of people who wanted to boycott Patreon leave the platform. At the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm going to delete my Patreon. I'm going to protest this. I set up the Subscribe Star. Some people went to Subscribe Star. They didn't got blocked. Now it seems Subscribe Star is working again. Let's see if we can see it. And so the Subscribe Star, it seems that it's working again. Those that want to support me through that channel can. All you need to do, though, if you're already on Subscribe Star and you've already follow me there, you need to go back into your account and you need to re-enter your information, because I don't know exactly what they did, but they had to change their systems, and so they need people to re-enter their information so that you can continue to give on that platform. But of course, what I would prefer, just in terms of being safe with what we're doing, is for people to go onto my website. You can go to thesymbolicworld.com/support, and on there you will find all the different tiers that were on Patreon. And people can follow me there. You'll get notifications for Q&A. You'll get notifications for also, advanced questions and all the advanced videos, all that, just like people had on Patreon and Subscribe Star. Matthew Raymer of Anomalous Design has worked really hard for the past few weeks to try to get this all set up so that we have all the notifications and everything. So great thanks to him. He's been doing some great job for content providers. I really suggest you check it out. I'll put the link in the description. He's been creating a system to protect content for people who are making it and are either afraid of being banned from different platforms, or are seeing this escalate and know that it's going to get worse and worse. So he has a system called Content is Safe, and for a monthly fee he will upload your content automatically onto BitChute and DTube and other protected sources where because it's using torrent technology, then it's not the content isn't actually anywhere. It's being shared by different users, which means that it's a lot safer from being censored. And so that's some great stuff. So I would really encourage people to go to my website if you want to support me there. I've been thinking a lot about the whole Patreon situation, and at first I wanted to just delete my Patreon. And after the story kind of cooled down and I looked and I've examined what is happening, it seems like what's going on is a lot bigger than Patreon. This deplatforming, we've heard the big names, but there's a lot of small people being deplatformed on Twitter, on YouTube, on different platforms. We saw, for those who followed the story, the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, made a speech where he basically said, using very strange Genesis symbolism, which really is a sign of the times, talking about the knowledge of good and evil and how we need to act. And so the tech companies need to stop these dangerous people who are spreading hate and everything. And of course, no one likes hate, but obviously, we all know that by now the word hate speech has become just a signifier for anything that they disagree with. And so because of that, it seems like the pressure that was on Patreon is not coming from Patreon. It's coming from much higher up. It's coming from the credit card companies. And there's some shady stuff going on. If you go to the Patreon website and you look, not Patreon, but there's a website called Graphtreon. And that website shows Patreon stats and creator stats and everything. And if you go on that website, there's some very strange things happening at Patreon. Right here, you have the Patreon creators and the donations per month. So if you look at the dates, January 15th, we have 12 million monthly payouts and 5,000 pledges. On the 16th, which is right after Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin, and probably a whole lot of people deleted their Patreon account, it drops $1 million. And then the next day, it goes way back up, all even higher than what it was the day before. And that is some shady stuff. And so there's some things that are either they're pretending, or they've got some support from the big banks or from the credit cards. There's something else going on which is bigger than just Patreon. And so because the deplatforming on Patreon obviously is more visible because it's affecting people's revenue directly, but so is demonetization on YouTube, so is the banning of people from YouTube as well. And so I don't think that, at least for now, just leaving these platforms is going to do anything, because it's a lot bigger than Patreon. For now, what I'm hoping to do is I want to direct all of you guys towards this new, so supporting me directly on my website. But there again, you're going to be using PayPal, you're going to be using credit cards. The problem is a lot bigger, and it's actually quite frightening what this is pointing to, this kind of system of control. And if this system of financial control becomes ideologically possessed, we are looking at a very scary, Revelations Mark of the Beast situation here. I'll probably be doing a video on that very soon, I hope. But in the meantime, we're going to do what we can through using these platforms that are not perfect and are obviously, let's say, seem to be giving in to the enemy. We're going to have to keep using these platforms. If you want to follow me on BitChute or on DTube, you can go ahead and find me there. I'll put the links in the description. If people do move towards those platforms, it would be great for this situation. But to be honest, I don't think it's going to happen, just because of the strength that YouTube has and the clout that it has in terms of how it's able to give information away. So this is a bit of a sad video in terms of how I see the situation. Hopefully Jordan Peterson's platform will be better. Who knows if he's going to be able to get it done, because it's also the banks are part of this. And so it's not just a question of will. It's also a question of the system, which seems to be appearing now. Let's say the underbelly of the system seems to be appearing more and more. And so that's all I have to say for today. As usual, guys, I really appreciate all your support, and we're going to keep plowing on in 2019. I've got a video coming out on the ring from the Lord of the Rings, and then from then on, I'm just going to keep going with you guys and see how far we can go with this. So thanks a lot, and see you soon.